It's so good! I swear to God, if you start scratching at the door. No. Hello everyone, I'm so happy that you clicked on this video. I hope you're gonna enjoy. So in this video, we'll be reading 3 books with a twist. We're gonna pick up some prompts, and which prompt is similar to a book, we're gonna read that book. A lot of people have done this with TBRs, so monthly TBRs, but I'm gonna do it in a reading vlog formatting. So 3 prompts, 3 books. I'm gonna be reading those 3 books in this video, and I hope you enjoy. We're just gonna get right into it. We're just gonna grab some prompts. I'm shaking it up. Hello. Okay, let's pick out the first prompt. This is the prompt. A book everyone has read but you. Oh my god. Jack, why are you in my TBR card? Which book should I choose for that? Because I have quite some books that I feel like everyone has read but me. I'm in a bit of a predicament right now because I could pick up The Hunger Games because obviously everyone has read that but me. I watched the movies, but I haven't read the book for some reason. I also have The Battle of Songbirds and Snakes, but I think I'm gonna start with this one. And I also have City of Bones, but I do have another video planned for this as well. Should I just read The Hunger Games? I think I'm gonna read The Hunger Games. I'm gonna do it, people. I'm finally gonna read The Hunger Games. Okay, we're doing this. If you don't know what this is about, it's basically about the future. And in this future, there are these Hunger Games. People from every district get in this arena to fight to the death, basically. I don't know what the reasoning behind it is, but that's basically what it's about. If you haven't already read this, like me, go do that because I'm gonna do it, so you should too. I am excited, but I'm also terrified because I did start this, but I couldn't get into it, but I read like 20 pages, so that wasn't fair towards the book. I'm gonna read this, and the next time that I'll pick up a prompt is when I have finished this book. Okay, let's do this. I read some parts of this book. Did I just stopped in the middle of a page. Oh my god. Okay, that's not okay, Sarah. That's not okay. Anyways, I have now read up until page 45, and I don't know what to say about this book. That is not a spoiler, because I've obviously watched the movies, and I've heard talk about this book, about the movies, and I don't know what I can and can't say to people that don't know what this is. I'm gonna try to explain it without spoilers. What we have just done in this book is the reaping has begun. Primrose was chosen, sister of Katniss. Katniss volunteered as a tribute. So now we're at the part where they are going to the capital. And that is all I can say because that's all I've read. But I really like the fact that we get way more information, way more backstory than we got in the movies. Obviously, because in a book you can talk way more about a subject than in a movie, because a movie has to be like a maximum of 2 hours. And this book, we can search all the little details. I like that we got some backstory of Katniss' dad, because I just realized we never got backstory on what happened to Katniss' dad. That's a fun time. Do want to say this reads very YA. I don't mind that, but I have to get a little bit used to the writing style. I'm gonna continue reading. Continue the page that I was on because I stopped right here or something like that. I don't know what is wrong with me, but I'm gonna continue and update you when I can. All right, I forgot to grab the Hunger Games, so I'm gonna do that now. There we go. So I am this far into the Hunger Games. I have this much left. It's so good. I regret not reading it sooner, honestly, because this was so fucking... I think if I had read this a little earlier in my teenage years, I would have given this 5 stars, and it would have been one of my favorite books of all time. I am not like the biggest YA person anymore, and it's still a really good book. Still like a 4.5. I just think I would have liked it more if I read it like 2, 3, 4 years ago. Alas, we're here now and we're reading it now, but I kind of regret not reading it earlier. Again, don't know what to tell you, but we're now on part 3. It's called The Victor, so we're kind of wrapping it up now, I think. The Hunger Games part of the story. I don't know if there will be like some more content after the initial Hunger Games is done. Yeah, I have more than 100 pages left. I'm not even on page 300 yet. So I feel like this cannot be only the Hunger Games, you know? There's a lot of differences in the movie and in the book, because the book has some other things that I feel like make it more interesting, but then the movie has like a completely different twist that is also interesting. But I personally think that I like the book more because there is more details. We're getting more descriptions of characters, which really makes imagining the world that they're in very, very easy. Also, I do have an example of the Hunger Games because I've read the movies, I've watched the movies, so I do know kind of what it looks like in the movies at least. But I do think that the movie is not as good as the book. I have seen some series or some movies where I think the series is better than the book, but that's just personal preference. In this case, definitely the book is way better because this is a 4.5. I would rate the movie like a 4, I think. I really enjoyed the movie as well, but this is just better to me. In the Hunger Games movie, I don't know how much I can say about this, but Peeta and Katniss spend more time during the Hunger Games in the movie together than they do in the book. Because I thought that the movie would be pretty damn similar to the book, obviously, because it's the movie is based on the book. But a lot of things have been changed where I think the movie could have really benefited from the fact that they could have kept it the same way. I am so excited to continue reading this. I'm gonna finish it today, mark my words, and then we're gonna pick another book. It's also really gruesome for YA, especially. Like, it's nothing compared to like a horror where there is in great detail explaining how someone is missing a body part or something, or like there was a body part. But it's still, for a YA, still think it's pretty gruesome, and there's way less details in the movies. I can't stop talking about the movies, but there's way less details in the movies than there is in the book. And now I'm gonna stop comparing the book to the movie because I've just watched a movie, really liked it, and then I'm loving this even more than the movie, and that is such a shocker for me because I've been putting off reading this book for so long and I regret it so much. I wasn't even planning on reading this book ever until I watched the movie, and then I was like, yeah, I need to read this book. But this update has been going on for almost 7 minutes, so I need to cut it out. So I am going to continue reading. Next time I'm updating you is probably when I finish the book because I don't think I will have much more to say before that. I'm really excited to continue this book, but I'm also kind of sad that this is going to come to an end. And I am also really excited to buy the next 2 books in the series because I need to read those as well. So that's the plan. I will see you later. We're back where we began because I just finished the Hunger Games and we got to pick another prompt. But first off, I do want to give you my final thoughts. All my previous thoughts still stand. I do think this is a really, really, really good book. Understand why this has become a movie. I do think that the plot is more the reason why it has become a movie and not the writing style or the way it was written. But the story itself is so unique, and a lot of books after this one have been based loosely off of the Hunger Games. So I think this was a very, very solid read. I rated it a 4.5 because I just loved it, but I do think that the fact that I had already seen the movie may have played a factor in the fact that I did give it this high of a rating because I could imagine the scenes more vividly because I watched the movie previously. That was all I wanted to say about the Hunger Games, and we're gonna shake up the jar. I added like 13 or 14 new prompts because I just wanted to add some. I put some in there where I was a bit scared of them. I'm gonna grab one. Okay, this one. Okay. I'm scared. Okay, this is it. A book that has under 7,000 Goodreads ratings. I'll have to check because I don't know what book is unpopular and what is not. I just had a look, but nothing is under 7,000. So I'm just gonna pick a new one. Okay, this one. This is it. A book with fall in the title. I didn't want to get this one because I do have one, but it's 750 pages and I'm not doing that in this video. Like, this is an option. Fallen. This is one of those OG, I think, booktube books, like in 2014 or 16, I don't know. Oh, wait. Oh, this also has fall. I really want to read this book, but I did have another video planned for it. I think I'm gonna go for Fall, Ruin, and Breath. I could just buy more fantasy books, I guess, and I've had this on my TBR for a long, long time. I am really excited about this. I've heard good things, but I've also recently heard some negative things. So we're just gonna see it. We're just gonna see what I think of it. I have read other Jennifer L. Armentrout books, really enjoyed them. This is the one that we're gonna read. I need to go now because I need to put my shoes on to go to the store because my mom called me that she's almost there, and I just am relaxing and making a video. So I'm gonna do that. Next time you'll see me is probably when I'm starting this book or have already started this book. So let's do that. spoke to you guys was when I was like, I'm gonna read Fall of Ruin and Wrath. I did do that. I am on page 194. I am about halfway, and I'm really enjoying it. It is a very character-based story so far. Like, I feel like there is gonna be more plot, more story that has got something to do with the main characters, but also isn't the whole story, because so far the whole story basically revolves around our main character and the love interest. And I feel like this story could have more potential if the story had a solid plot from the very beginning of the book, or like not on page 200. But that's just my opinion. Like, if you love a character-based story, I do too, but not in a fantasy world. And this just doesn't have much substance in that regard. It is still good. I don't think this compares even close to the Blood and Ash series or the Ember and the Ashes series. There is a map in the book. Look at that. Look at that. So basically, this world that we're in is divided by lowborn and highborn. And basically, lowborns are the ones that don't have much or don't have anything at all. And the highborns are the ones that got lucky, that got the magic, that got the money, that got the education. So our main character, Liz, is a lowborn, but she does have magic. And that magic is basically like an intuition that she feels, so she can read minds and she can predict what will happen. The main focus of the story is the romance. The romance basically developed in the beginning because Liz overheard people say, because she got this intuition, she got this feeling that she needed to be somewhere, so she went there. She heard voices saying that they captured a highborn and were planning to sell him his body parts on the shadow market or dark market, or I don't know, something like that. So she was like, I need to save him. So she went and rode on her horse to save this guy. She saves this dude. And now they part ways after some things happen. They part ways. Next night they meet again. A complete coincidence, but they meet again. So they part ways again. Then they meet again. And that's basically where we're at right now, pretty much. I think that is all I wanted to say for now. I talked for 5 minutes. I am enjoying it. I don't know when the next time is that I'm gonna update you, but it's probably gonna be when the plot is on its way, when there's more plot, basically. So that is what I'm gonna do, and I'll see you. We're back with another update, and this update, we're in the spot again. So obviously I have finished Fall of Ruin and Wrath. And I have some things to say. All my previous thoughts still stand. What I said was true, but I do have some things to add. This felt like a setup for next book in the series, or maybe like the next 2 books in the series, because it was good, but nothing really happened up until the end. Up until the last 50 pages, nothing happened. But then suddenly things started happening, and then shit went batshit crazy. But at that point, I was already bored. So I wasn't really that invested anymore. I did enjoy these characters, did love the romance in this. I thought it was very, not pure, but the chemistry was there. I noticed this with other Jennifer L. Armentrout's books too. This is not the only situation that I'm talking about right now, because this happened more often. I also remember it happening in the Blood and Ash series. I don't remember it happening in the Shadow and the Ember series, but in the Blood and Ash series, it happened so many times. These characters are having a conversation, and it's so much info dumping, and it goes on for 10 pages straight. They're just dumping info on you. They're having a conversation that could have been way shorter, and you expect me to keep being interested in that, because it went on for one chapter. One chapter, they were just talking. Nothing else. They were just talking. No other thoughts, no pauses. They were just communicating with each other. So long for no reason besides filler. That doesn't keep my attention. I need some action to happen, and it did happen. But those conversations, I noticed it like 2 times. They were so long that I got distracted and I zoned out, and then I wasn't as interested anymore. But again, can you sit still, please? I swear to God, if you start scratching at the door again. No. But besides all that, I still did enjoy this book, but it just felt like a setup for the continuation. I gave it 3.5, but that was what I wanted to say about this book. I'm sorry that we got interrupted by this little dude right there. Okay, I'm gonna shake it. We're gonna grab a new prompt, the last prompt for this video. I hope you're excited. The last book for this video. I'm gonna grab this one. This is the one. I don't know what it is. A book with blue and pink on the cover. Oh, I do already see. There's pink in the center of the flower and blue. And oh, the lettering is also like it's outlined with pink. I don't know if you can see that very clearly, but it's outlined with pink. I think this is a really solid option. I could check for more, honestly, but I'm probably gonna end up with this anyways. So I'm just gonna read this book. This is part 6 in the Dark Olympus series. I really enjoyed that series. The 5th book I didn't enjoy as much as I did the previous books in the series, but they were still, that was still a solid read. And they are all just fun, easy to read reads that are slightly darker than a regular romance, but not too dark. So I think if you're not into dark romance, you would still probably enjoy this series. So I would definitely recommend to check it out if you are not into dark romance, but you do maybe want to get into some darker romances. This series is a recommendation for me. So that is about the last book that we're going to read. This is a short one, so it's going to be very easy to get through. It's like 300 pages, not more, not less. I am excited, honestly. I'm really excited because I wanted to read this book for a video, but I didn't know what video, so this is perfect. Let's read this book, and I'll update you when I can. I thought it was time for an update because I've been reading today, only today, and I made it this far. I've read this much in I think like about 2 hours time, so it went by really fast, and I'm happy with the amount of progress that I made so far. I'm really enjoying it. I don't have anything extremely positive to say, but I don't have anything negative to say. I just feel pretty neutral about this. It just feels like a 3.75, maybe a 4-star. Well, I think a 4-star is like reaching for things that are not there, but 3.75 feels fair for this book right now. Not a lot has happened, but I can tell you a little bit about it. It's about 2 men and 1 woman, and it's a second chance romance with one guy, and then the other guy is kind of her bodyguard slash best friend. But Olympus in this book is not what it used to be. It used to be safe. Now all these crimes are happening. There have been some crimes in the underworld, but not as many as there are in the, I don't know what to call it, but like the other side of the river, basically. Shit is just not good anymore. So that's what we're following in this book. You have to read the whole series to understand this book because it has been a while since I read the 5th book in the series, and I don't completely understand it anymore. I can follow it. Like, you could still read them separately, but I would highly recommend for you to just read them in order, for you to not miss out anything of this series, because some plot points are really important. There is like a little recap moments right here, like News Watch. Look at that. And that's like a little recap of some things that happened in the previous books. But I'm now on page 133, chapter 15, and I'm enjoying it. But again, I don't have anything extremely positive to say. It's just a good, enjoyable time, and that's all I'm looking for right now. It's very easy to get through. I say this with all of the books, pretty much all of the books that I read, that they're easy to get through, but that's because I know my taste. Not exactly, but I usually know my taste. So I usually only pick up books when I know that I'm definitely gonna enjoy them. And then they're easy to read because obviously I already know that I'm gonna enjoy them. That's why I say it every time, that they're easy to read, easy to get through. I am gonna get some ice cream now because I'm at my grandma's. I am sleeping over for a few nights here because I have nothing else to do. I am just able to walk again. Like, I wasn't able to walk for 4 months. So I'm just able to walk like a normal person again. I just don't do shit, and my grandma was like, wait, you can stay over here for like half a week. So I was like, yeah, let's do that. I hope I can finish this book today, and if not, I'll finish it tomorrow or something like that. So that was the update, and I'll see you when I see you. I'm almost finished. I have like 20 more pages left. I have this much left. I am on chapter 33, and it's good, but I don't know what to rate this, and I haven't finished it yet, so I will come back to that. But I don't really know what I feel about this. But for now, I do have some updates that I wanted to talk about and some things that I wanted to remark on. The first thing is, I don't completely love these characters. Like, I like them fine enough. I like them, but I don't love them. And also the characters in the previous books that are making a reappearance in this book, I don't like them as much as I did in the previous books, because I want the characters to still be the same characters, but it feels like they are not the same, and I don't like that because I hold them dear to my heart, and now I'm getting a really different kind of view of them, so don't know if I like that much. I don't know what it is about these main characters, but I like them, but they feel kind of flat. Like the woman in this, I am not going to pronounce the name. I'm not going to pronounce any of the names, so I'm not going to do that. But the woman in this polyamorous relationship, I like her. I don't love her, but I like her more than the other characters. But then there's the bodyguard slash best friend. I feel kind of neutral about him. I don't know what it is. It just feels like his only character trait is being grumpy, and he doesn't have anything otherwise for personality, and I want something more. I want development, and I want some action. I want to see them being sensitive, and they are having conversations, but it's like, it doesn't add to his personality. I think if something bad happened to one of these characters, I wouldn't even cry because I don't feel connected to them. Also, relationship in this developed so quickly. So the relationship between the woman and the bodyguard, so quickly. They were already friends for like 9 months, I think. So the transition to loving each other as friends and loving each other in a romantic kind of way went so fast. That was in the first 50 pages. They were confessing their love for each other. And I was like, huh? Like, I don't mind that because I can understand it kind of, that they were already friends and that now they love each other and they have loved each other for this way, you know, for a long time, but they haven't admitted it to each other. We're just getting introduced to these characters and they're already telling each other that they're in love. We haven't even properly met them. But that is like with the bodyguard and the woman. So sorry that I'm not saying the names, but I'm not going to try to because I will embarrass myself. But the second chance romance part in this with the other dude, that also felt kind of sudden because they hadn't seen each other for almost a year. And then suddenly they were confessing their love for each other. Like, we never stopped loving you. You haven't seen each other in almost a year. You have to build something up. You both changed, and they say it themselves. They have both changed so much. I think you just need a little more time because this happened in 3 days' time. 3 days' time. And now they're already confessing their love. It's also a relationship between the guy and the guy, so it's not only between the woman and the guy and the guy and the woman, but it's also between the two guys. They have met for the first time 3 days ago, and they haven't confessed their love. Like, to be fair, they haven't confessed their love, but they are like in a committed relationship, and you've met 3 days ago. You haven't even gone on a date. You have just spent 3 days together. It just feels a little sudden, but I am used to that with Katie Roberts. So I don't totally mind it, but I know that some people do, so I did want to add it. And I also wanted to say this book focuses way more on the politics than I remember the last few books focusing on the politics. For a romance book, there's more politics than romance, but if this was like a politics-based story, there was more romance, if you know what I'm talking about. I don't know if I'm explaining that correctly. That is what I'm feeling, and that is what I've noticed. I just wanted to add all my thoughts on here so I could say them to you and give you like a view of what I think of this book and what this book is about and basically what is going on, because I don't feel like I do that usually. I don't feel like I give good enough explanations of what I'm feeling for these characters. I usually just say like, I like these characters, but they fall flat, and that is all. But I feel like I need to go more in depth with my reviews on that, so that is it. But I haven't even finished this book, so cannot say much right now. I can't say a lot because I have 20 pages left, but I'm gonna finish this now, and then I'll update you when I finished it, and then we're gonna round this video up because this was the last book. Alright, I am back at my mom's, so it's time for a little wrap up because I did finish Midnight Ruin, but I don't want to repeat all my thoughts. So I'll do that as the last book, but we're going to do a recap of all the books that I read in this video. First one that I read was obviously The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. Very popular book. This was for the prompt, a book that you feel like everyone has read but you. It's definitely worth the hype. I loved it. 4.5. I think the rest of the series has potential to maybe be a 5-star read. So I am really, really happy that I read this, and it got me excited for The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, which I, first of all, need to rewatch for the 4th time, and second of all, need to read for the first time. Maybe I'll do that in the vlog as well, but I don't know yet. And I need to buy the rest of the series. So that was The Hunger Games, 4.5. Really enjoyed it. It was just a really good book, and I should have expected it, but somehow I did not. Even though this is like one of the most popular books ever, and this is going to be a classic, most likely. It was just really good, and I loved it. After that, we read Fall of Ruin and Wrath by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This one was just such a letdown, where I feel like Jennifer L. Armentrout really had a good setup for a story, I didn't feel like it got used properly. I can't believe I'm about to say this, but there was too much romance for a fantasy book. I wanted more world building. I wanted more action because nothing happened up until the last few pages. And that really annoyed me because I wanted some action. And of course, in the beginning, there was some action in the fact that this girl, Liz, was helping this highborn escape and save him. There was some action, but it didn't reach a level where I was like on the edge of my seats. Just overall, a 3.5, I think I gave it. I'm not sure, but I feel like a 3.5 is a good rating for this book. I had such high hopes and those were not met at all. And then lastly, Midnight Ruin by Katie Roberts. I did want to say there was no love confession at the end of this book between the two guy characters. And I think in this case, I enjoyed that because they had met 3 days ago. And for there to be a love confession in 3 days' time felt a little bit unrealistic. This was also open-ended. So I need the second book right now, but I've heard so many negative things about not the second book, about the seventh book. I've heard so many bad things about that. It has like a 3.5 average rating on Goodreads. But I enjoyed this one, and I will enjoy every single book that Katie Roberts writes. I ended up rating this a 4, but I wanted to give it a 3.75. I checked my ratings because I wasn't entirely sure what to rate this. Like, I was between a 3.75 and a 4. So I checked my ratings for the previous books in the series, and I gave all of them, except for the 5th book in the series, a 4-star. And I felt like I did enjoy this one more than some books in the series previously. So I decided like a 4-star is going to be the rating. But if I had to be very precise, I would rate this like a 3.9. But I'm not going to be that difficult. So a 4-star it is. That was it for this video. I really enjoyed doing this actually. It took me a little longer than expected, but that's like completely fine. I enjoyed it nonetheless. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see more of me, subscribe and like this video. And if you have any video ideas, let me know down below because I'm always searching for new video ideas that I could use in one of my videos. I hope you may watch more of me and I hope I'll see you later. Bye bye!